Hey nerds, hope you're all well. So today I wanted to do a beginner guide for speed painting, as you can get some great results for the tabletop and even build a great foundation for a showpiece as well. There's loads of different products out there such as Army Paint or Speed Paint, or you might be more familiar with Citadel contrast paints. There's also Express Colour from Vallejo, AK Quick Gen, and probably more that I don't even know about. I was going to use a Space Marine today, but flat panels like the shoulder pads can be a bit of a pain as a beginner. So I picked out a couple of termagants as they are perfect for this type of painting, as they have lots of texture and ridges. I'm going to show two examples of primer and how it affects things as well. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, I do a series called Speedpaint Sunday, where I paint up a mini just to show how many different colours and effects that can be achieved with speed paints. Here's some of the recent examples of how good minis can look tabletop ready in no time at all. We've got this little guy up first, which I prime with white bone or wraith bone. Speed paints are designed to work with a light undercoat, and I prefer an off-white as the colours come out a little bit warmer than with white, but white or any light grey are just fine. I typically prime mine in black and do a zenithal highlight on them, which is known as slap chop, but I'll do a separate video on that later. I usually use an airbrush, but for the sake of the video I'll apply highlight using a dry brush and a white acrylic paint. Might even use grey as well for more tones. Trusty palette is coming out as a wet palette is no good for these paints. Let's get some paint on this little one, shall we? Going to use Purple Swarm, but Leviathan Purple Contrast is very close in comparison. Always give them an extra hard shake as they separate massively. A little bit goes a long way, so there's no need to use too much. Going to be using a big brush for this for speed, but I'll end up making mistakes no doubt. No need to thin or dab off any excess here, just get it straight on the model. Speed paints are designed to act as a one coat, base, shade and highlight, so we need some pooling as this is our recess shade. But we don't want it too much as this will ruin the higher areas which are meant to act like the highlights. As you can see, the darker parts where the paint is going into the deeper areas and recesses, this is good, but if it pulls too much we can simply move it out onto the flatter areas. As long as there's some left in the recesses, it's doing what it's designed to do. Try not to hit any other areas, but don't worry too much as we can correct our mistakes later. Case in point, I made a bunch of mistakes on this with that big brush, but it really isn't a problem, just a little bit extra work. Get a colour match or as close to your primer colour as you can. I found this beige colour. And just tidy up. The purple is quite a strong colour, so it might take a few thin layers. Being as careful as possible, but once again we can simply apply the purple again if we go over it. Also popping small bits of the purple down any bits I missed. I always miss bits, I swear I'm slightly blind. There he is, ready for the next colour. Now mediums are a great thing to have. You can use them to reduce the vibrancy of colours, which is perfect for Tyranid flesh. Moonlight Coral Thin Down is going to be one of the colours for the flesh I think, but you could use Citadel Contrast Medium with Volupus Pink also. I need to transfer all of these into dropper bottles eventually. I think I will give Skeleton Horde a try as well for Grim Dark or even Dinosaur type skin. Going to dilute this heavily, 2 drops to 10 I think. Give it a really good stir. Not too bad, but might add another couple of drops in the medium. Much better. Same technique as before, get it slapped straight on. Allow it to pull where it needs to and simply push it out if it pulls too much onto a flat surface. You can even get a clean brush and soak up any excess in areas you don't want it. A wash might have been a better choice here, but it's a speed painting video, so we'll make do. I'm undecided on the colour. I'll make a judgment when all the colour is down, but we have shade where we need it and it's nice and thin in the raised areas. Going to paint the other side with a different scheme. Going with Skeleton Horde Contrast, thin slightly this time. Dropper bottles are so much easier, especially for getting the ratios correct. A little bit of guesswork when you get it from the pot. Technique stays the same, just imagine you're applying the base coat and shade at the same time. Liking the pink side now it's dry. Very undecided on this side though, but again, I reserve judgment. A colour like Warrior Skin might have been a little bit better. Onto the claws and hoofs now, if you'd call them hoofs. Got a few options here, both awesome choices, but I'll go with Grim Black. I use the black speed paint and contrast paints quite a lot as they flow really nicely and dry with a nice grey highlight. Have to be a bit more careful though as it's harder to cover up. I say that while I use a big brush. Nice and quick, just a quick inspection for the bits I probably missed. Aged Hide is a favourite of mine. It's a good pink flesh colour. Going to apply this to his weapon and it looks good straight away. Get all the organic tubing as well. With a few highlights this can be made to look really good. Nice colour but I missed a bunch so I'll quickly touch that up. Slowly warming up to the Skeleton Horde side now. Going to add a bit of Aged Hide to the leg and arm recesses to break things up a bit. They flood easily so it pays to have a second brush at hand to soak up any pooling. Not used this Carmine Dragon before but thought it'd make a nice tongue colour. And a 1 and a 2, beautiful. Going to use Bony Matter with a touch of Warrior Skin for the teeth as it's a weak colour on its own. Quick mix and a 1 and a 2 and a lovely set of chompers. Now it's time for the eyes, nice bright white and a super detailed brush. The anxiety is real. If you do mess up though, you can put some of the base colour down and nobody will ever know. Probably. Hexwraith Flame or Shamrock Green are great eye glow colours. Going to use Hexwraith Flame here though. Got some ball bearings in here as well just to make sure it mixes as well as possible. Just a pinch as it's only eyes we're doing. The great thing is, if it does spill outside the eyes, it'll make a nice eye glow. Happy accidents are what this hobby is built on sometimes. Nice and glowy. Which side's your favourite from these two? Let me know in the comments. So we have our black prime Termi up next, and I said before I'd usually highlight with an airbrush, but dry brush is just as good. Gonna go with a light grey and a medium dry brush first. It's so satisfying seeing all the detail jump out as the lighter colour goes down. If anything, dry brushing is great for showing where the natural detail and high points are on a model. Gonna go a bit softer on this side and see the difference in effects. I might regret not using as much on this one side, but we'll see. Matte white up next. Doing this with a smaller brush, and even more detail seems to appear out of nowhere. Only doing this on the highest parts though, the parts that see the most light. Nice and quick step that you can repeat if you want things brighter in certain parts, but like a lot of things in this hobby, it's trial and error. Looking good and ready for paint. Gonna use the exact same colours as before for easy comparison. That purple looks even better when used on a dry brush carapace though. It really exaggerates the highlights and recesses compared to the solid colour prime. A little comparison between the two, but it'll all come down to preference at the end of the day. So with all the colours applied, our Skeleton Horde side looks awesome. Again, it's down to preference, but yeah, I really like that one. Quite like our first pink Termi. The second one is a bit dark though due to my rubbish idea with the dry brush. So I did a double slap chop. Again, I'll do that in a separate video down the line. And I dry brush the white over that highlight again, just to bring out the highlights a bit more. After a second go, he looks a lot better, I think. Speed paints and other similar paints are so good for tabletop ready as fast as possible. With a few highlights, they can be elevated to a showpiece quality quite easily, which I'll do in a next video, I think, using this guy. Hope you guys found this video helpful. If there's any suggestions, tips, or even questions, let me know in the comments below. And make sure to keep an eye out for the next Speedpaint Sunday as well. Let's take a look at our termagants up close on the whirligig, and let me know which one you prefer. Anyway, ciao for now.